everybody, and welcome back to the basketball edition of the Huddle. I'm Ruth Lang here with sports editor Mike Brown. This week we're going to start off talking about the crosstown rivalry game between the Arlington boys and the Alliance boys. Mike, tell us a little bit about how that turned out.
Yeah, it was a good game last night, Ruth. Anytime those two get together, I mean, it's like the old adage, you can throw the records out the window, but in that particular game it is so true because when Arlington Alliance play, I mean, it's great just to watch the game. No matter who wins or who loses, it's great to go just for the excitement of the game, the atmosphere. It's always a packed house, a great rivalry, a very clean rivalry, which is the kind you like to see. And Alliance came out on top again. They swept the season series with Marlington, and J.J. Gakura had a great game with 31 points in that game for Alliance.
What a way to come back off of a two-game.
It really is, and
absence.
they really need him, Ruth. I mean, he is so important to that team as they go forward, and you look ahead to the postseason tournament. I mean, he's kind of the rudder for that ship, and he means so much to them. And they did a good job without him, but I think he had so much. He's such a prolific player, not just scoring, but as leadership and rebounding and hustling after the ball, and he's really, really a good basketball player.
Also talking about wins and key players, Sebring's Joe Davis was very instrumental in the game recently. They played against.
Yeah, I got a chance to cover that game on Tuesday night down at United, and Joe Davis took game scoring honors with 17 points. He got 11 points in the first quarter, and it really got Sebring going because they were struggling a little bit offensively early on that game, and he got them a little bit of a cushion, and then the rest of the players started to find the range. And they posted a very impressive 62-39 win over United Local.
West Branch boys, however, lost on the road to Carrollton. But the girls, switching there to the girls' action, they beat United after a loss at the Classic in the Country, where Melinda Trimmer got some honors. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, they went down there, and that is a tournament. I just found this out. You have to be invited to that tournament. I thought you could put in and be in that tournament. You have to be invited. So the West Branch girls were invited out of respect that they're one of the top teams in the state. And they played Fort Loramie, who was the defending Division IV state champion in basketball with a lot of those girls back. And they're really good again. And West Branch went down there and lost that game, but it was a good game. And Melinda Trimmer of West Branch had 29 points. And was named, I believe it's called the Classic in the Country Super 7, which is their version of their tournament all-star team. And so that's a great honor for her because those teams down there are all state powers, every one of them.
Also continuing in the winning tradition were the Marlington girls and the Sebring girls. Marlington beat Alliance here on Saturday, but Alliance, you said they're coming up into their own and kind of holding their own a little bit.
They sure are, Ruth. And, again, Alliance is a team that's gotten better in areas maybe you don't see as much if you're not looking for it in a game, but they really have. And then last Saturday they played Marlington, and I believe it was their high water mark for points in a season this season. And Caitlin Daniels had a big game offensively. They lost that game to Marlington, but I would say Coach Lee Hoods came away very happy with their performance. And I think if they can continue to play that way, they have a chance to win some games before this season's done.
And Sebring is going to be having a matchup again coming up. They just came off a win with Heartland Christian.
Yeah, they had a good win last weekend. They played Heartland Christian on Saturday, and they got Kelsey Settle back. Kelsey Settle was out for a while. They got her back. She means so much to that team. She's their inspirational leader. Hustles constantly in the game, going after rebounds or loose basketballs on the floor. Just a great all-around player, and they got her back. So I'm sure that was a lift for them. And they've got some nice players to go with her as well. They've got Murphy Flowers and some other players are good players. So now Sebring is looking pretty good. They got to win at Heartland Christian, and then they've got to turn around tomorrow night and they play the Columbiana Clippers, and that's Ron Michelle's Columbiana Clippers. And Ron Michelle is one of the best girls basketball coaches in the state. He had teams that went to the state when he was the coach at Boardman. Now he's the coach at Columbiana. And so Sebring's going to have to really bring it on Thursday night when they host Columbiana over at Sebring McKinley High School. But, I think Sebring they've had a really good season so far, and I look for that to continue.
And what are our matchups coming up? We have a game Wednesday night.
Yeah, on Wednesday night we've got the Alliance and West Branch girls are going to play. And again, for Alliance, I think it's continued improvement for them. For West Branch, obviously they've got a great program and they've got a lot of aspirations to do really well this season and in the postseason. And I think West Branch will be a heavy favorite in that. But if Alliance continues to play like it did against Marlington last week, I think that can be a good game. And hopefully Alliance can take another step up the notch with improvement. And I think that means a lot. I think Coach Hood's doing a good job building that program the right way.
What about boys action, Mike? What are the schedules
it's going to
for
be
this weekend?
A full slate this weekend, Ruth. And again, we've got an immediate area matchup this weekend. We've got the Alliance boys going to West Branch on Friday night. Again, Alliance is in first place in the NBC, coming off a big win over Marlington, like we talked about, and they're going to West Branch, which is struggling again this year. So, Alliance is going to be a heavy favorite in that game. And West Branch is getting better. They lost by 4 points at Carrollton on Tuesday night, but it's a process for them. I think kind of like the Alliance girls program, I think the West Branch boys need to take improvement in increments and steps and be satisfied with that. And then hopefully that'll turn into some wins as they go through the season. But West Branch is going to have a tall order when they host the Alliance Aviators Friday night. And also on Friday night, Ruth, the Marlington Dukes are going to be home. They're going to host the Minerva Lions. Again, Minerva's a team kind of like West Branch, where they're kind of young in spots. They've got some talent, but they've got some youth as well, and it hasn't really transformed into wins this year. But they're getting better, and they're going to have to go to Marlington. Marlington's really good at home. I don't know what their record is at home, but it's really good. And so Minerva will be the underdog in that game. Marlington will be a solid favorite in that game, but. You have two area teams that are rivals. You never know in a rival game like that. So, that's pretty much what we're looking at Friday night.
That's all for this week's edition. Stay tuned with our coverage in the review and online at www.the-review.com, as well as follow us on Twitter at AllRevSports for some updates that way. We'll see you next week.